Greetings, programmers, and welcome to the very last, our 10th and final memory tutorial. Busted Thumbs here again with Fluffy Wishes.
Hello!
And we are now at the point where we're almost where we have a complete game. If you saw our last tutorial or installment there, we actually played full game. And we got a winner out of that. Unfortunately, what we didn't have, and of course I was not the winner. Fluffy Wishes is smiling at me. Yeah, so what we didn't have was a notification to our players that somebody won and an ability to start over again. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to fix that all up, and I think we'll be all done with this project. If you look where we're looking here, and this is when the card tiles are clicked. This is where we were determining whether a player's score went up or not. I think right inside here is where we can determine whether we're at a win or not too. And it's pretty easy to figure out what a win is. A win is when the combined score of both players is exactly equal to half the number of card tiles that were up there, right? Because for every match, 1 point gets played. And it is possible to have a tie. That is a possibility. So what I want to do is we're going to create two things. We're going to create two sprites. One sprite is going to be like a dialog box, a little window that pops up that says who won or whether it was a tie, and another one will be a button inside that dialog box that will allow you to start all over again. So first off, let's figure out if somebody won or if the game is over, and we'll do that here. Let's go ahead and create a check for game over. We now have a check for game over. We can actually implement him down here, but we're going to need to check for game over after we increase the player's score and then remove the tiles that need to be there. And then it's just a little bit of math. So all we want to do for this is to check if the score is equal to what we expect it to be. And the score is going to be the two players' score. So we need player 1 score plus player 2 score. Player 1 score plus player 2 score. And that's going to be our number of tiles divided in half. So we're going to have to divide it in half. And the number of tiles is pretty simple. It is the number of rows times the number of columns. Number of columns times number of rows. So there we have it. That's our win condition right there. We'll stick that guy down here, scrolling back in. When that happens, a lot of people are going to have to do a lot of different things. And so because different people are going to have to do different things, what we're probably going to want to do is actually broadcast an event. So we're going to broadcast the game over message. And the first thing that needs to happen when the game over message happens is our little dialog box needs to pop up. So that means we need to create our little dialog box. So let's make a sprite, which is the game over dialog box, which we'll paint ourselves. Call it game over. Game over. Just like that. And there's going to be more than one sprite to this guy. More than one costume. One costume is going to be the player 1 win. And let's turn him into a vector, and let's make a little box. So the box, we can make it a fairly big box, kind of like that. And we're going to fill it in nice and white. Just like that. No problem, we'll move him later, don't worry about that. And then we need to put some text in there, and we like to use our Scratch script. What color should we make our player 1 win text? Purple? Yellow, green, blue.
How about we do red and green?
Red and green?
Because those are the colors of the flowers.
Okay. So let's say player 1. Ooh, that doesn't look very good. Player 1 wins. Three exclamation points. And we'll make that a little bit bigger. Just like that. Then we can, you like green too?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's make a new one. Let's make him some sort of dark green. Congratulations. That doesn't look quite centered, does it? Well, just move these around until we like them. Put them where we... Oops. Don't want that. Looks kind of Christmassy. But that's okay. Anybody who's following along can make it however they want to, right? Let's just leave it like that, because we could spend a long time changing it and moving it around and things like that, but I think people can do that on their own. So let's go ahead and say, duplicate that, and make that the player 2 win. And when we do player 2 win, we simply have to change that 1 to a 2. And maybe move them over just a little bit, because that 2 is a little bit wider than the 1. And let's do a duplicate. And we'll call this It's a Tie. Congratulations. And we'll say one more here, just like that one. To both players. What do you think? Is that good enough?
Yep.
And this one, of course, we'll call Tie. Okay. Now we've left a little room at the bottom there, because that's where our button's going to go. So let's make the button. And it's going to look like that first button we did, only we can make a new one. And this is going to be the Start Over button. Start Over Costume. Start Over button. Just like that. Okay. Last time we did this by, we turned it into a vector. And then we added one of these buttons that were already here. Let's try one of the other buttons. Blue one this time?
Alright.
Or this green one, stretched out? Blue one. Or a square blue one.
I think I like the blue one.
Square or not?
Or not the square.
The rounded one, okay. We'll use that one. Now, just like last time, what we did is we stretched him out. Like that, and then we put some text inside there, and we don't want green. Do we want white or black? Let's go with black and see how it works, how it looks. And scratch font. Start over. Make that guy a little bit bigger. That guy looks a little too big, stretched out, doesn't he? Let's make him not so stretched out. That looks a little bit better, like that. Kind of like that. Look okay?
Yep.
Looks okay. Looks okay to me. Let's position these guys about where we want them to show up. And we can do that up here in this row. We'll probably put him around right there. And this guy, if we want him to show up, we can hide this one. Move that guy down there. Oops. Show him again. Alright, so this guy may be around right there. Now we're going to want that to be centered. But this gives us a bit of a sense of where the middle is, which it's about right in the center, actually. So let's go ahead and just make sure that that guy's right in the center. And then we'll make sure that this guy is also down a little bit, maybe around -75. And we can get rid of that and call this one Start Over. Okay, now let's do some coding. When these guys start, we don't want them to show up. So in both cases, we want to make sure that they're hidden when the game starts. We'll just go ahead and leave it like that. on both of them. When the green flag is clicked, hide. What we want them to do is to show up at the right time, which is when we get that broadcast. So when we receive game over, that's when it's our job to show up. And we're going to have another event that says back to main menu. And when that happens, we're going to hide again. The only thing we have to do now is to figure out who the winner was and set our costume to be the right thing and show. So there's three cases. Because there's three cases, we can't just use if then else. So what we can do, I'll just make 3 different cases. I could use one if then and one if then else, but I'll just make 3 different cases. This is fine. One's going to be equal, one's going to be less than, and one's going to be greater than. And it's all going to be the same data. So it's going to be player 1 score, player 1 score, player 1 score, and it's going to be player 2 score, player 2 score, and player 2 score. So even though I could have done that with less items, this is pretty readable. I know exactly what's going on. And which costume do we want if they're the same?
You want the tie costume.
That's right.
That's
so
the backdrop.
That's the backdrop. Let's not do that.
Costume.
Let's go to tie. And all of them are going to be costumes. But this one's going to be
Player 2 win.
player 2 win, and this one's going to be
Player 1.
player 1 win. And then when we're all done with that, we want to make sure this shows. Okay?
Okay.
I think that's all that guy has to do. That's it. Nobody ever clicks on him. They click on the start over button. So the only thing this guy has to do is to start the game over. So what his job is going to be is when he receives that same event, and I receive game over, we better make sure. There's 2 things we need to do. This guy's got to be in the front. We want him to be on top of that guy. And then we want to make sure he shows. And when he's clicked, when this sprite is clicked, we're going to go ahead and hide him again. Well, let's do this. We'll just broadcast back to main menu. And when we receive back to main menu, I'll just put all these down here. That's when we're going to hide. I could do that, or I could have just put it here. But that works too. Okay? That will take care of those sprites, but the other sprites need to know what to do as well. When we go back to the main menu, this guy needs to hide. Right? We don't want him showing up. Hide. All the cards need to hide, but they should already be hidden. Right? Because that's the only way to get back to the main menu. But, you know, just in case later on we're playing around or something like that, we can always put this in. When I receive back to main menu. In fact, when I receive game over, that's when I should hide. In case there's any of them sitting around, let's go ahead and just like hide and delete this clone. Or basically the game's over, so they should go away. And in fact, because we did that here, let's do that this here too, because the turn is over when the game is over. When the game is over, you should hide. And sorry, my phone is ringing if you hear that. Somebody else will get that. So the game's over for him, and these guys, it's different for them. They need to show up again. And they don't want to do it when the game is over. They want to do it when we start back to the main menu. So the event for this guy is when I receive back to main menu, then we're going to show again. And is there anything that this guy needs to do? Yes. We need to switch the backdrop. So when this guy receives back to main menu, we need to switch our look. Switch the backdrop not to be game board, but to be title screen. Title screen. Title screen. Is that it? Is there any data that we need to do? Most of the data gets set when we click the actual buttons for the initialize of the game. So I think we're pretty good. Should we give it a try? Let's give it a try. Hit play. Make this bigger. Let's play our game. I'm going to go first again.
Alright.
Butterfly, lion. Penguin, dove. Parrot, penguin. So your turn. Okay. Lion. Oh, you're going to win again, aren't you? Okay. Go ahead. Snowflake. Okay, we haven't seen Snowflake yet. Here's Snowflake. Parrot. Ah, I have a chance. We've seen the parrot before. Let's see. Then we've got butterfly, butterfly. Tie game. Tie game. Dove, dove. What could be the last two? Am I actually going to win? I might win. Snowflake, snowflake. Uh-oh! It didn't kick in. Something went wrong. For some reason it didn't kick in. All that hard work. All that hard work. It didn't kick in. It's going to be on the card. That's the button. Card. Check for game over. You know what? I'm going to make this not be a wait. We're going to make this. I knew it couldn't last because why would it? I can't win, can I? Try again. Alright. Butterfly, snowflake. Oh no. Penguin, parrot, lion. Oh no! Fluffy wish is coming through again. Penguin, we saw. Oh, you remembered. Lion, you remembered again. Oh no, of course. The real one is going to be the one where I don't win. That's a new one. That's a new one.
Oh, okay.
No!
Ja. Well, I'm still winning.
You are still winning. Don't be so smug about it. But you won. There, it worked that time. Player 2 wins. Congratulations. Congratulations, Fluffy Wishes, for being player 2. And if we click this button, will it work? It did. We missed one thing. But that's really easy. We'll clean that up and we'll consider it done. We missed one thing. We didn't clear out those guys. That's really, really easy to fix. And we'll go to the stage to do that. It's inside the data. When we go back to the main menu, what we want to do
is hide the
hide those variables. We want to hide player 1 score and player 2 score. And that's it. We're done. We've done it. Yay. So our memory's done. Hopefully you've got a memory game of your own now that you can play as well as soon as you're done going through the things that we did here. And like I said in the last one, there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can make your little cards do animations when they flip over, or like scroll off the screen when a match is made, play interesting sounds, maybe have a background music, something like that. Go ahead and have some fun playing with it. But we're done with this one for now. I'll put this up shared so everybody can see it. Thank you, Fluffy Wishes, for helping me out.
Yay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope everybody was able to learn something as we put this one together. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you in another one. Bye-bye.
Bye!